Threads is adding new features for podcasters, Riverside is trying to be your one-stop shop for everything podcasting, and TikTok announces it's launching a podcast network. These are just a few of the things that you might have missed last month in the podcasting news, but don't worry, we're going to get into it. First up on the docket is Threads. Threads just rolled out the ability for you to pin your podcast onto your profile page. This creates a nice little button so people can go directly to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. They also rolled out a new preview functionality. So if you share your podcast episode via a Threads post, you'll have a nice little box button window looking thing for people to interact with. Next up is Riverside. Riverside is quickly becoming the all-in-one tool that every podcaster needs, not only to record their podcast, edit their podcast, promote their podcast, but now host their podcast as well. This new feature is rolling out to all of their paid plans. I think it's going to be really cool. So now all your analytics can live in one space. The one thing I am interested to see is if they add functionality for you to do your video podcast on Spotify. The other thing that Riverside recently rolled out, this might not have been this month, but the ability to connect two microphones, even two USB microphones, to record an in-person session. This before has just kind of been tricky, and computers tend to get kind of confused when you have two USB mics in there. Really cool functionality. So if you have a two-person setup at home, but then you bring in some kind of third virtual member, it just became a lot easier to do that. Next up, iHeartMedia and TikTok partner to launch a first-of-its-kind multi-platform partnership. This is kind of a three-tiered thing in that TikTok is launching a podcast network. They're going to have 25 newly created and curated TikTok creator podcasts, which will bring audiences even closer to their favorite voices. iHeart is supporting this by opening a couple studios in Los Angeles, New York, and Atlanta. Those podcasts are then going to be distributed by iHeart Podcasts, which is a part of the iHeartRadio app. And then, of course, clips from those podcasts will be available on TikTok. Next up, TikTok Radio is going to be a fast-paced, engaging format pairing TikTok creators with experienced iHeartRadio personalities. TikTok Radio will be available across all broadcast radio stations nationwide and digitally on iHeartRadio. It sounds like it's going to be TikTok's hottest new songs, but also some storytelling, emotional context behind the music with segments like Behind the Charts, New Music Fridays, and On the Verge. See what that looks like in the coming months. Next up, iHeartRadio live events. iHeartRadio obviously historically has done things like iHeartRadio Music Festival, iHeartRadio Jingle Ball, and it sounds like now they're wanting to bring in some of the TikTok creators to kind of fill out their roster there. RSS.com has just announced its free local and niche podcast hosting plan for their service. This is going to be super cool, especially for indie podcasters, people who are just starting out. One of the biggest gripes with free podcast hosting in the past has always been the limitations. Sometimes it's the amount of episodes you can upload, the amount of length of episodes you can upload, access to analytics that we need in order to figure out where our audience is and things like that. RSS.com does not seem to be doing that with this. Instead, their new tier or version of this service includes unlimited episodes of audio. There's no storage caps or upload limits. You get a free podcast website, episode scheduling, transcripts, automatic app distribution, right, to get it to all the right platforms, promotion tools and pod roll recommendations, right, so we can get cross promotion with other podcasters, listener funding and value for value tools, enhanced email privacy and copyright protection, location tags, and access to customer support. This is huge. Next up is Pocket Casts. They are rolling out the playlist feature. They're calling it a new way to organize your listening. Very similar to how we organize and create playlists of our music. Now, of course, we can create playlists of our favorite podcasts. I'm excited for this as someone who already does this inside of Spotify. Now I can do it via the Pocket Cast app, which I prefer the platform of. What I'm actually more excited for here is something they are calling Smart Playlists. So this will allow the app to organize your podcast for you. Smart Playlists will automatically gather episodes from the podcasts you follow based on rules you set for it. For example, you can make a quick listen playlist that gathers episodes from your favorite shows that are less than 25 minutes long. We'll see what other prompts we can kind of put in there and other guardrails we can put in there, but this is exciting. I'm looking forward to trying this out. Our final story of the month is some news about Headliner. They just rolled out their beta version of their video scene editor. This is going to make it easier for you to change the layout of your video edits, correct some auto framing issues, split your video, and do some more They put together this great tutorial video. I highly recommend you check it out. It's going to be linked down below. That walks you through how easy it is to do this. If you don't know what Headliner is, historically, they've helped you make audiograms for your podcast, but now they're getting into the video scene. And if you don't know what you're doing with video editing, that's okay. It's very easy to follow via their platform. And that about does it. I hope I've been able to share some cool podcast industry news that you may have missed last month. I'm sure there's things I missed. If there's stories you want me to cover, feel free to drop them in the comments or shoot me a DM on social media. I'm at the Jacob Gooden, also linked down in the description. All of the stories we covered today linked down below if you want to take a deeper dive into them. And until we see you next month, keep podcasting.